Hi there. Hi, Chef Matt here, and welcome to the very first inaugural 12-minute dinners. So what I came up with this concept was I was filming my son doing some Minecraft videos with my wife's camera and realized we only had 12 minutes before it automatically shut off. So I thought, hey, that'd be kind of fun to see if I could do a real-time cooking lesson for in 12 minutes. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to do a dinner for 4 in 12 minutes using one pan and the ingredients you see over here. So come on over here. Let me show you what I got here. First of all, you got to have a very good knife, and this is my chef's knife that I got from Ronin Steel here in the Coachella Valley. Really good knife company. They made this special for me. But the ingredients we're using today, and you can see those down below on the description of this video. All right, we've got garlic cloves, got a half an onion, lemon. This is curly parsley. I like usually using flat leaf parsley, but this is what my wife bought me for this. So we're using curly parsley, heavy whipping cream, stick of butter, olive oil, fresh parmesan. Okay. I've got some shredded, not even open yet, that's shaved, excuse me, not shredded, and some grape tomatoes. All right. So this is for family of 4, but if your kids are like mine, sometimes they'll eat tomatoes, sometimes they won't. Sometimes they just like butter noodles. Sometimes they don't like onions. But in this recipe, you're going to see that the onions are so small that they're not even going to know they're in it. So I'm going to get my pan started. I got my giant brazier here. I got water boiling. All right. So we'll get this done in 12 minutes, maybe even less. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this onion. What I like to do is go across the grain of the onion so that it stays together and I get a nice small dice on it. I'll lift it up, come across it like that, flip it over, make sure you keep your hands curled back. This is getting a little messy, but, and then the big ones here, I'm just gonna chop up. So this is pretty easy. You can make them as big or as little as you want. I would usually go a little bit smaller on these, because like I said, my kids don't always like onions. I know my daughter who's filming this, she doesn't eat a lot of onions. But that's a lot of onions, but like I said, it's gonna be for 4 people, and it's gonna be a pretty hearty, large dish. So next, garlic. A lot of people like to chop the garlic cloves. I like to do a little slice on them. I like to have them kind of whole slices like this, see? So they're not completely shredded and diced. Almost like planks, right? So I'm going to do 5 cloves. Take the stems off them if you can get the stems out of there, like I'm doing here. All right. My pan's nice and hot over there. Get that. And it's hard to cook with this camera right in front of my eyes, right in front of my face here. But that's okay. Okay, so now, olive oil. So I know everybody's stuck at home and nobody can really go out, nobody can eat anywhere nice. And if you're like us in California or where we're at in the Coachella Valley, you can eat, but you have to be on a patio somewhere. So I'm adding the onions, right? Spread them out. And I'm adding the garlic at the same time. So what I want to do with that, I want them to get nice and soft. But you don't need too much color on them, just a little bit. Now, I know I said I was going to cut these so small that the kids wouldn't even notice it. I didn't do that. The onion kind of fell apart on me because it was only half an onion. And honestly, it was something I had left over from a dinner the other night. So it was a little bit curling up on the edges, so it kind of fell apart a little easier. But that's just, you know, you use what you have in the kitchen or in your refrigerator. All right, so we're going to let that go for a little bit. The next part of the dinner tonight is going to be these grape tomatoes. I'm going to use sun-dried tomatoes because I have those as well, and you can use those as well. But the reason I'm not using sun-dried tomatoes is because sun-dried tomatoes aren't liked by everybody. They're kind of a acquired taste, sort of, especially if you have kids. It's hard to convince them to eat a sun-dried tomato. And it also discolors your sauce that we're going to make here. So what we're doing, and I haven't even named the recipe yet, it's a fresh linguini that we have here, and it's going to be with garlic lemon butter. We made this the other night. My daughter had it and she absolutely flipped for it. We did it with a ravioli that we made out of a short rib ravioli, and that was delicious. And we finished it with a little demi-glace. But for tonight, we're going to do tomatoes, lemon, garlic, butter sauce. All right, so that should be enough. We'll do a couple more because we got time because our stuff's over there cooking. Now, if you notice, I already brought the water to a boil. The water is going. That's nice and salted, and that should be enough to do all of our pasta for this evening. All right, that's up on high, and it's getting nice and brown. I want you to turn around and say hi to Marisa. She's watching tonight. This is my daughter's best friend. And so what we're gonna do next, we're gonna wait until those are a little more cooked before we put the tomatoes in. Cutting the ends off my lemon. And then doing that, all right, then we cut it in half. Got my nice little juicer here. This is a lime juicer, and the lemons don't always fit, but we're gonna make the lemons fit. Because I don't have a lime juicer, I've got a lemon juicer, all right? Open this, get that ready to go. I'm gonna open my butter while everything else is working. Trying to keep my station as clean as possible. Now you wanna use very cold butter, as cold as possible when you do this. This has been out about 10 minutes. It's not as cold as I would like it, but I was trying to get my, as we say, mise en place together. All right, so what I'm gonna do now this is where I would add white wine to deglaze the pan, but practically, how many people have a bottle of just, well, right now during this pandemic, I bet you everybody's got a couple bottles of wine laying around, right? I would, but we don't have, I've only got red laying around today. We're not making a beurre rouge sauce, we're making a beurre blanc sauce. So I'm not going to use that, but what I am going to do, I'm going to add tomatoes. Now these tomatoes are going to let out some juice, so they're gonna make it a little saucy, all right? We're gonna get some of the water out of them, let the sugars come out, sweeten up a little bit. All right. Ooh, nice and loud. And there's not much to do now. Now it's just all waiting for everything to cook down. So while we're doing that, I'm going to chop my parsley. Okay. So the curly parsley. Now I'm going to rough chop this. I don't want this too fine and I don't want it too big. So rough chop the parsley. So also, if you're going to see that this is very much, it's not a vegan, but it is a vegetarian if you can eat butter, but you don't want to eat meat. But also with this, you can add chicken to it. If you want, you can grill a salmon, throw salmon on top. Or I've done this dish before and used a smoked salmon, which is really good. You flake the smoked salmon into the pasta at the last minute. It's really, really good. So back over here, just about ready to go. So we're gonna squeeze in our lemon juice. So instead of wine, we're gonna deglaze with a little lemon juice. Oops, hang on. I'm getting my hands burnt there. So one whole lemon. I see we've got less than 5 minutes to go. That's all right, we'll make it. All right, let's move that around. Let's add my heavy cream. Now, if you're making a true beurre blanc, you don't use heavy cream. That's traditional. Don't use the heavy cream. And when I was in culinary school, that was the hardest part of my basics class for me, was making a beurre blanc that wouldn't break. Pan was always too hot, always reduced the liquid too far. There was always issues, but bring the butter, drop the butter in. Once that's hot, it's gonna thicken up like crazy. You don't really have to be too, at this point, too delicate with it, but you just don't want it to be too hot. All right, so while that's going, I'm going to add my pasta in, get the pasta cooking. That should only take a minute. Now this may go over 12 minutes, and I'll tell you why we may go over 12 minutes today, because I spent a minute and a half describing what we were gonna do today. But that's okay. We're gonna get it as close to 12 minutes as possible. See this, we flake in all of our delicious pasta. This might even make more than 4 people. Let me find my beautiful tongs here. All right, get those going. Now at this point, I'm gonna hit it with a good amount of salt. We only have, my house, we only have the pink Himalayan salt because my wife stopped buying me my kosher salt as soon as this whole thing started. And only buys the pink salt because it's better for you. All right, and these are remnants of my old days in another kitchen, this pepper grinder. So move this away, clean this up. All right, so we're just about done here. What I have to do is to get out this, taste it. Okay, now that's very lemony. I'm gonna add a little more cream to try to get it back on track. Okay, last thing we're gonna add here is the parsley. And another thing, if you watch a lot of cooking shows, like I know a lot of people do, one trick, if it gets too thick or if it's a little too lemony or it's too salty, if you get into a bind and you need to figure out a way to undo it, grab yourself a little bit of spoon like this, a ladle, add a little starchy water to it, okay? And that will thin it out, lean it out, and balance your flavors out if you've over seasoned or over lemoned like I may have done here. But once the pasta's in, it's gonna be pretty awesome. How much time we got there, Abs?
30 seconds.
30 seconds, okay. Well, like I said, I spent more time describing what this was. So this is almost done. This pasta here. It only takes a minute, so that pasta should just be about done. You don't want it to be too hard. Let me taste it. Okay, pasta's ready. We're gonna pull the pasta out. I'm gonna add it to the, right to the water. I mean, right to the sauce, right out of the water. And the reason I do that too, is because it's going to, it's not gonna hurt your sauce. It's gonna make a little more sauce actually, right? Because it's gonna add more liquid. Just toss this around a little bit. And what I'm gonna do next time, I'm gonna have a stopwatch here right next to me so that I can actually time myself. Let's turn that off, slide this over here. There's my dish. Whoa, that's a lot of pasta. Who wants the first pasta? All right, let's put that in there like that. It wants to come off, all right. There we go. Let me get a little bit of the garnish on the top here. Some tomatoes. Oop, it's getting very, look at that. I'm not getting it off the side here. All right. It's a little dirty. What are you gonna do? You're doing it in 12 minutes, and you're doing it for your family. So I don't think they're gonna, like I said, if you're not, you know, this isn't supposed to be restaurant quality in your house. This is just to be something that's supposed to be quick and easy for your family. All right. And then if you really want to make it look cute, we can put a little parsley on it or get some fresh basil. But what do you think of that? 12-minute pasta, one pan, if you don't count the boiling water. And there you go, fresh linguini with butter, lemon sauce, fresh tomatoes, and parsley. All right, that's the very first 12-minute meals, everybody. Check me out at Chef Matt Briggs on Facebook. You can hit me up on Twitter at Chef MB. No, Chef Chance MB. I haven't used Twitter in so long. And then check us out on our butter cake website, briggsbuttercakes.com. We've got a line of butter cakes that if you've never tried one, do yourself a favor, try one. And if you know what the butter cakes are, order some more because we got the holidays coming up and you're stuck inside, so you might as well eat butter cakes. All right, thanks for watching and we'll see you next time.